They say a man's downfall rarely begins with his enemies. It begins with the woman he thought would never hurt him. The truth is, most men aren't destroyed by rejection, by failure, or by life itself. They're destroyed by the one person they trusted the most. And what makes it worse? It never happens all at once. It happens slowly. One compromise, one ignored red flag, one moment of silence when he should have spoken up. A woman doesn't destroy a man's life overnight. She does it quietly, through emotions, through influence, through a game she doesn't even always know she's playing. It starts the moment he falls in love, because love makes men blind, but her emotions make her powerful. At first, she's everything he ever wanted. She listens, she smiles, she makes him feel like he's finally found peace. He lets his guard down. He starts building his world around her. Every goal, every dream, every ounce of focus starts revolving around keeping her happy. And that's exactly where the destruction begins. Not because she's evil, but because he forgets who he was before she came along. A man begins to lose himself the moment he hands over his sense of purpose for love. He stops doing the things that made him strong, independent, and confident. He starts filtering his choices through her emotions. He says, "I'll stop hanging out with them if it makes you happy. I won't go to the gym tonight. I'll stay with you. I won't take that job. It'll keep me away from you." Slowly, his life becomes smaller, his energy weaker, and his world starts revolving around her approval. But here's the painful truth. The more a man gives up himself to please her, the less she respects him. She'll never say it out loud, but deep down, she starts feeling what every woman eventually feels when a man loses his edge: boredom, the very qualities that attracted her to him. His independence, mystery, strength are now gone. He's predictable, safe, and emotionally available on demand. And no woman stays attracted to a man she completely controls. That's the first stage of destruction: dependency. He depends on her for validation, comfort, and meaning. And once she senses that, the dynamic shifts. She begins testing him, pulling away, creating small arguments, seeing if he'll fight for her or stand his ground. Most men fail these tests because they're desperate to keep her. They think fixing her emotions will bring back her love. But all it does is make her lose more respect. And so begins the second stage: confusion. He starts wondering, why is she distant? What did I do wrong? He overthinks, apologizes for things he didn't do, and tries to be a better man for her. But she doesn't want a better man. She wants the man he used to be. The one who didn't beg for attention. The one who led with calm confidence, not emotional neediness. She sees that he's lost himself, and whether consciously or not, she begins to take control. It might start small. She decides where they go, who he talks to, how he spends his time. Then it grows. She questions his friends, his habits, his ambitions, and before he knows it, he's living her version of life, not his. That's when resentment sets in, because deep down he knows he's being controlled, but he doesn't know how to stop it without losing her. Every man in this situation tells himself the same lie: she'll change if I just love her right. But love doesn't fix control, it feeds it. And the more he gives, the more she takes. Until one day he looks in the mirror and doesn't recognize himself anymore. His goals are gone. His fire is gone. The man who once had a direction is now just reacting to her moods. And that's the third stage: emotional erosion. He becomes a shell of himself, walking on eggshells, avoiding conflict, constantly trying not to upset her. His masculine energy, his natural drive to lead and create, gets replaced with anxiety and self-doubt. He stops trusting his instincts. Every decision starts with, will she be okay with this? That's when she knows she has full control. But here's the irony: once she has full control, she no longer wants it. Because women don't actually want to dominate a man. They want to feel safe with one. When she feels she can control you emotionally, she stops feeling protected by you. And once that happens, attraction dies completely. Now she sees him not as a partner, but as a project, something to fix or discard. By this stage, the man's life starts falling apart in every direction. He's distracted at work, distant from friends, and emotionally drained. The relationship becomes his only identity. If she's happy, he's okay. If she's upset, his entire world crashes. That's not love. That's dependence disguised as devotion. And it's one of the most common ways men destroy themselves, by giving a woman the power to define their peace. Eventually, one of two things happens. Either she leaves because she's lost all respect for the man she once admired, or she stays and continues to drain him until there's nothing left. In both cases, the outcome is the same. He loses himself completely. His energy, his confidence, his masculinity, gone. But let's be honest. Most men don't even realize they're in this trap until it's too late. Because from the outside, it doesn't look like destruction. It looks like love. It looks like compromise. It looks like being a good man. But behind the smiles and the selfies, there's a man slowly fading, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So what can he do? How does a man protect himself from this silent destruction? It begins with self-awareness. You have to know who you are before you let anyone into your life. You have to build a foundation so solid that no amount of emotional manipulation can shake it. Because when a man has purpose, a mission, and boundaries, he becomes unbreakable. A woman can influence him, but she can never control him. The truth is, a strong man doesn't avoid love. He just doesn't lose himself in it. He doesn't confuse peace with submission or harmony with silence. He speaks the truth even when it creates tension. He sets boundaries, not because he's cold, but because he knows his value. And most importantly, he never allows his emotions to be dictated by hers. When you love a woman from strength, not weakness, something incredible happens. She respects you more. Because deep down, every woman craves the presence of a man who cannot be emotionally shaken. She might test you, she might challenge you, but what she really wants is to know you're unmovable. That's what makes her feel safe. Not your surrender, but your strength. So understand this. When a woman starts to destroy a man's life, she's not doing it out of evil. She's doing it because she's reacting to weakness. Women mirror energy. If you're firm, she'll follow. If you're soft and unsure, she'll take the lead. And that's when the balance collapses. A woman can only destroy a man who doesn't know his worth. Because the truth is, no one can take from you what you refuse to give. If she drains your peace, it's because you allowed it. If she controls you, it's because you gave her that control. And if she walks away, it's because you forgot how to stand alone. But there's redemption in this. The same woman who breaks you can also teach you, if you pay attention. She teaches you where you lack boundaries, where you crave validation, and where your strength is still built on approval. Every heartbreak, every manipulation, every emotional breakdown, it's all feedback. It's life showing you where you need to grow. That's the paradox of pain. The same woman who destroys you can also awaken you. Because once you rebuild yourself from that kind of damage, you become a different man, wiser, stronger, more grounded. You stop chasing love and start commanding respect. So if you've ever been broken by a woman, if she left you questioning your worth, your power, your masculinity, don't see it as the end. See it as the moment you were forced to meet the real you. Because only after you lose everything that's fake do you realize what's real. And what's real is your strength, your clarity, your calm, your purpose. The moment you stop needing to be loved to feel worthy, you become the kind of man who can't be destroyed again. Most women will never admit this, but they can sense when a man has rebuilt himself. He doesn't flinch, he doesn't chase, he doesn't explain himself endlessly. He simply speaks truth, stands his ground, and walks away from chaos. That's the man every woman both fears and respects, the man who's no longer controlled by emotion. So the next time a woman tries to pull you into emotional games, remember, she only wins if you react. Stay calm. Stay grounded. Your peace is your power. The moment you protect it, the destruction stops. Because a woman can test your patience, she can test your strength, but she can never destroy a man who refuses to give up his sense of self. That's the kind of man who rises after every heartbreak and never falls the same way twice. If this message spoke to you, don't just watch and scroll away. Leave a comment below. Your story might help another man wake up. And if you're ready to reclaim your strength, subscribe. Because here, we don't teach revenge. We teach resilience. Because no woman can destroy the man who finally remembers who he is.